Ethereum is continuing to crush Bitcoin across most major metrics. In this video, I want to break down some of the things that Ethereum is outpacing Bitcoin on and why I remain mega bullish on Ethereum, why I still think that Ethereum is going to be worth 5 digits or more in the not so distant future. My name's Lark. Every day I make videos talking about cryptocurrency investing, so if that is a topic that you would like to learn some more about, make sure you subscribe to the channel, gently tap on the thumbs up button, and of course, click on the notification bell to know when I put out a new video. So let's go ahead and get into this topic. Now, before I dive into the different reasons, of course, we just want to take a quick moment here to talk about the price of Ethereum right now, currently around $2,300. I was lucky to get to pick some up around $2,100 on the dip the other day. But right now, Ethereum is down around 47% from its recent all-time highs, which of course is just a brutal correction. Ethereum has not been immune to the wider market panic, the wider market correction. But just because there is this short-term panic happening in the market does not erase all the cool stuff that's happening with Ethereum and all of the key metrics that Ethereum is absolutely exploding on. Now, currently, of course, the market cap for Ethereum, $269 billion. I think that this can be a multi-trillion dollar asset. I would say in the future, a $2 trillion market cap for Ethereum is not actually that insane. I mean, right now, Apple, I know this is kind of an apples to oranges comparison, pun intended, but the market cap currently for Apple is just a little over $2 trillion, almost $2.1 trillion. So to see something like Ethereum, which is the settlement layer of the cryptoverse right now with NFTs and DeFi and daily settlement for payments and stuff like that, all going crazy, I think this bad boy has a lot of room left to run. And we can see statistics like these ones here showing why that is happening. So this is the total value locked in smart contracts, which is up over 9,000% in the last 12 months. That is in the middle here, so that is incredible. Now, the total value locked in smart contracts also has benefited from the price of all these assets moving up over the last 12 months. But a lot of that has also just been new users coming in. As you can see, the user growth for smart contracts is up 1,300%. That being said, something like only 1 or 2% of all Ethereum users have interacted with these different smart contracts. Most Ethereum users, they just buy and hold Ethereum, or maybe they send a stablecoin transfer or something like that. They haven't used decentralized finance to do some borrowing or some lending or some yield farming or some liquidity provision or to take out an insurance policy or to play the lottery or any of the other things that you can do right now with DeFi. So even within our little micro ecosystem of Ethereum, the number of users still has a massive exponential growth potential here. So that's something to keep in mind. We've also seen the decentralized exchange volume absolutely freaking exploding, up 8,500% in the last 12 months as well. So we can see just the user base, the actual economy of Ethereum is growing like crazy because there's actually stuff that you can do on Ethereum. You know, I use Ethereum basically every single day. And I use some other blockchains from time to time. I've been using, Solana a little bit, or Binance Smart Chain a little bit, or Polygon a little bit as well. But I use those less than I use Ethereum. Most of the stuff that I want to do is still happening on Ethereum, in spite of sometimes having to pay some pretty brutal gas fees. That being said, you can see the economic activity really speaking for itself. Now, Ethereum is absolutely crushing Bitcoin in this regard. Now, we have had some new stuff coming into Bitcoin, like the Sovereign Network, which is kind of a DeFi platform for Bitcoin. But most statistics, most people talk about the Lightning Network for Bitcoin. This is kind of where a lot of hopes were pinned to. But what we've seen actually with the Lightning Network is really not a massive amount of volume coming in terms of people actually locking Bitcoin into the network, because Bitcoin doesn't fit super well for payments. People want to buy and hodl their Bitcoin because it's gold 2.0. And yeah, some people will spend their Bitcoin from time to time, but for the most part, we can see that there hasn't actually been a massive growth in the total amount of Bitcoin locked in the Lightning Network. And I know you might have some that Bitcoin is entering and not being registered because they're private status of nodes or whatever, but for the most part, the Lightning Network has not grown, where the Ethereum ecosystem has completely freaking exploded. We can also see the total value being settled on chain right now by Ethereum. This is absolutely freaking incredible. It blew my mind. Now, previously when I've covered this statistic, it was around 2 times the daily value of Bitcoin. So last time we talked about this, Bitcoin was still around $15 billion a day. Ethereum was around $30 billion a day. Now, Ethereum is settling on chain $46.37 billion every single day. That is mind-boggling beyond belief. Bitcoin's around 15 billion, which is still a pretty hefty sum of money without a doubt. But you have to keep in mind, again, most of this Bitcoin stuff is just people sending it to exchanges to sell it for cash, or buying it on exchanges, withdrawing it to their cold wallets to hold on to it, because that is the Bitcoin thing. It's digital gold, and I love digital gold. Don't for a second think that I'm just bashing Bitcoin here, because I'm a massive Bitcoin fan. I just recognize what Bitcoin is and what Bitcoin isn't. The Ethereum network is just so much more freaking exciting, because Bitcoin is pretty simple. It's my digital gold. It's my store of value cryptocurrency. You got some extra cash you want to burn? Throw it into Bitcoin, wait a while. It is gonna be okay. It is the equivalent of buying that digital gold. And that's why I keep buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still the biggest cryptocurrency in my portfolio, but a very close second is Ethereum, because of just these incredible statistics that are happening right now in the network. I mean, this blows my mind. 3 times the daily value settled on the Ethereum network versus Bitcoin. It's because people are actually using Ethereum for interesting stuff. They're doing borrowing, they're doing lending, they're doing all that DeFi stuff, they're buying NFTs. It's being used in a way that Bitcoin is not being used, because there's no Bitcoin applications. The Lightning Network has largely been a, not I want to say a complete failure, but hasn't really gained very many users. So that's pretty interesting to see. By the way, if you want to buy yourself some Bitcoin, maybe you want to buy yourself some Ethereum, some Polkadot, some Cardano, whatever your fancy might be, you need to get yourself an account over on BINANCE. It is the best cryptocurrency exchange in the world. It is where I do the majority of my buying and trading of altcoins and all that stuff. So if you sign up for an account using the link down below in the description, you'll get 10% off of your trading fees and up to $700 in trading bonuses. So do go ahead and check that out. Now, let's talk about the move of Ethereum to proof of stake. Obviously, the last few weeks has seen a lot of criticism come in around Bitcoin's proof of work energy model. And look, a lot of that is bad faith attacks. There's so many problems with the conversation around Bitcoin's energy use right now. A lot of people are lying and gaslighting, all this stuff. It's not good. It'd be nice to have some honest conversations about this, which aren't really being had in the media for the most part. But there is a bigger conversation to be had about proof of work mining. We see Ethereum right now in the process of moving away from proof of work mining, moving towards proof of stake. Now, this is obviously nice because it removes that whole, you're messing up the environment with your mining stuff, which, I know there's a lot of e-waste that goes into Bitcoin mining. I mean, if we talk about Bitcoin mining versus Ethereum mining as it is today, not even comparable in the amount of energy and infrastructure that Bitcoin mining is using versus Ethereum mining. But that being said, Ethereum is moving to proof of stake. Ethereum is upgrading itself. Ethereum has an innovative approach to technological advances, whereas Bitcoin is a hyper-conservative cryptocurrency. The majority of the miners and developers are really, really conservative with how the protocol is moved forward. That's why it's taken us 4 years to get the Taproot upgrade, which really doesn't do very much at all. It's not going to make the experience of the average user dramatically different, which is kind of the point, because again, Bitcoin is very conservative, where Ethereum is very innovative. So we see Ethereum pushing forward all of these interesting and major upgrades, and moving to proof of stake is freaking massive. Now, hopefully we do see Ethereum move to proof of stake by the end of the year. Fingers crossed for that, but I'm not holding my breath either. Ethereum is famous for having things take a little bit longer than initially expected with their tech rollouts, but it is moving to proof of stake. That is going to happen. That's part of the plan. It's moving in that direction. It will leave proof of work behind very, very soon, which will mean that essentially Ethereum is going to be running on like 1/1000th the amount of energy footprint, which is big, big, big. Because you already saw people coming out and saying, well, NFTs are bad because they're using so much energy. Well, that conversation is largely going to go away now. And of course, the economic shift of proof of stake is massive too, because you move from the mine and dump economy, which is where we are right now, because miners are always selling their Ethereum for cash, creating constant sell pressure, to a stake and hodl economy, because every little bit of Ethereum that you get, you can stake that Ethereum and get more Ethereum. Becomes a nice cycle versus a vicious cycle. Now, the next thing that we should be paying attention to here is that Goldman Sachs, I know, it's Goldman Sachs, so, take it all with a grain of salt, but Goldman Sachs came out and said that Ether beats Bitcoin as a store of value. The Ethereum ecosystem provides developers a way to create new apps. Most of DeFi apps are being built on Ethereum. The greater number of transactions in Ether versus Bitcoin reflects this dominance, which is something we were just talking about right now. Now, this is really, really interesting, because not only do we have the applications, the users, the daily transaction value, all that stuff, we also have the triple halving. That is when the emission rate of Ethereum is going to be cut from around 4.5% down to 0.5%. Plus, we have EIP 1559, which is going to introduce deflationary mechanisms into Ethereum, which will see a small amount of fees being burnt all of the time for every transaction that happens. That, over time, turns Ethereum into a deflationary asset, which means that its store of value properties become much more serious, and the price of Ethereum is likely to increase potentially quite dramatically over the next few years. So that's a pretty interesting report from Goldman Sachs there, to see them saying that Ether beats Bitcoin as a store of value. That is, of course, the big value proposition that is being put out time and time again by the Bitcoin crowd, is that Bitcoin is the superior store of value, and Bitcoin is a great store of value. But if these upgrades to Ethereum actually work as planned, which I'm sure they will, then we start having an interesting conversation about, well, is Ethereum this just multi-point asset that's kind of doing all these amazing things? It's proof of stake, it has DeFi and NFTs and all this stuff going on, plus it's deflationary, plus the inflation rate's really low right now, plus it's not using all this energy, et cetera, et cetera. It becomes a very interesting conversation. And look, right now, institutions are starting to wake up more and more to Ethereum. So Cathie Wood's ARK Invest, they, for the first time ever, have bought Ethereum. So they bought 639,000 shares of Grayscale's Ethereum Trust. That is pretty gosh darn amazing. That means that ARK Invest has been looking into Ethereum more and more. They have been understanding what the value propositions of Ethereum are. And this is them literally putting their money where their mouth is and buying Ethereum, getting direct exposure to the asset class. This is a big deal because Cathie Wood's ARK Invest, a lot of people pay attention to what she's buying, what her firm is investing in, and so them getting into Ethereum, that is a big deal. Now, Cathie is a Bitcoin bull. She has been a Bitcoin bull for a long time, just like I remain a Bitcoin bull, but she also sees the potential for the Ethereum asset to go crazy in value. So that's very, very interesting. And this is the final story I want to share with you today because this is massive. Institutional investors bought more Ethereum than Bitcoin last month. The first time ever that institutional Ethereum inflows outperformed inflows into Bitcoin. This is massive, massive news because we finally see that institutions are waking up to the reality of Ethereum. Deflationary asset that you can stake to get 6 to 7% more of that asset, all this stuff going on, the applications, the NFTs, the DeFi, all that stuff happening on Ethereum. Bitcoin's the gold, Ethereum is the apple of the crypto space. Institutional investors are buying it now. They understand what's going on. This is only going to increase, not decrease. I think that we're going to see a lot more institutional investors getting into Ethereum, particularly now that ARK Invest is signaling to the institutional investor crowd that yes, this is an asset that you should be paying attention to. Anyway, those are just my two gwei for the day. Your question, which blockchain do you use the most? As I mentioned, I use Ethereum basically every single day. But what about you? What blockchain are you actually using on a regular basis? Let me know down below in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching today's video and peace out till next time.